Welcome, everyone. May I have a mover and a seconder to call this meeting to order? Brad and Henry, that the Committee of Adjustments meeting held on January 28, 2026 come to order at 6 p.m. All those in favor? Carried. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest this evening? Seeing none, may I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the previous minutes? Henry and Mike, that the Committee of Adjustments minutes dated November 26, 2025 be adopted as presented. All in favor? Carried. Welcome to this Committee of Adjustments meeting to allow the public an opportunity to express their views regarding the proposed minor variances and consents within the Township of Springwater. Each applicant and their agent, if applicable, will be given the opportunity to present the applications to the committee and public. Additional information on each of the applications, including any presentation materials, is available in the committee agenda on the township's website. Following those members of the public who registered to make an oral submission prior to 5:30 p.m. January 27, 2026 will be given the opportunity to do so. All oral submissions will be included in this minutes meetings and form part of the public record, including the name and address of the speaker as information collected under the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. The minutes of the meetings will be posted on the township's website. All comments or questions should be addressed to the chair. Application 1, will the Secretary Treasurer please introduce the first application, item number 4.1 on the agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 4.1 on the agenda is minor variance application A01/26 submitted by C. Gillard on behalf of B. Gillard regarding lands known municipally as 1242 Glengarry Landing Road South. The purpose and effect of the application is to permit the construction of a detached accessory building which exceeds the total maximum height and area provisions of zoning bylaw 5000 as described. 1. A maximum height for a detached accessory building of 4.9 meters, whereas section 3.7.5b states that no detached accessory building to any residential or accessory residential use shall exceed the height of the dwelling to a maximum height of 4.5 meters. And 2, a maximum total area of accessory buildings of 252.3 square meters, whereas section 33.3.14.1H states that a maximum total area of accessory buildings or structures shall be of 115 square meters.
Have any additional correspondence and/or comments been received?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, comments have been received from the Chief Building Official, the Township's Engineering Department, Enbridge Gas, Source Water Protection, and the Severn Sound Environmental Association.
Can I please have the applicant introduce themselves and provide comment, if any?
Bruce Gillard.
Sorry, you just want to come up there and just talk into those speakers. You can have a seat if you want. Sure.
Bruce Gillard.
Yeah, so if you had anything you want to explain about your detached
Well,
or,
we wanna put a storage building up if, we possibly can, and just in our backyard area. Cause we got quite acreage there. We got 12 acres there, so.
perfect. So then we just read, if we have any questions, we can ask your question.
Sure.
Thank you. Are there any additional members of the public in attendance this evening to make an oral submission? Or Mr.
Thank you, Chair. There are no members of the public who have registered to speak to this application.
Thank you. Do any members of the committee wish to comment or have any questions concerning the application? May I have a motion for one of the committee members for application A01/26? Mike?
Yeah, I move the application be approved as presented, according to the staff report.
May I have a seconder? Henry? That the Committee of Adjustments, having given consideration to applicable provisions of section 45 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the Township of Springwater, the characteristics of land in question and its surrounding as addressed in the planning report on application dated January 28, 2026. The correspondence received and information presented at the hearing held on January 28, 2026, and the discussion on the matter hereby approve application A01/26. All in favor? Carried. Thanks very much. That was easy. That's it. And the rest is done by the staff. So we approve it and then the staff does the rest with you guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Application number 2, will the Secretary Treasurer please introduce the next application, item number 4.2 in the agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 4.2 on the agenda is minor variance application A02/26 submitted by K and M Blakely regarding lands known municipally as 1314 Wilson Drive. The purpose and effect of the application is to permit the construction of an additional residential unit within the primary dwelling, which exceeds the total maximum floor area provisions of zoning bylaw 5000 as described. A gross floor area for an additional residential unit within a primary dwelling of 292.3 square meters, or 63% of the gross floor area of the primary dwelling, whereas section 3.48.2A permits a maximum of 40%.
Have any other additional have any additional correspondence and or comments been received?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, comments have been received from the Chief Building Official, the Township's Engineering Department, Enbridge Gas, Source Water Protection, and the Severn Sound Environmental Association.
Can I please have the applicants introduce themselves and provide comment, if any? Hi,
Hi, how are you?
good, how are you?
Good. I'm Kelly Blakely. We're looking at building an accessory residential unit for my in-laws, so that we can hopefully encourage them to be able to stay at home a lot longer and not go into long-term care. In order to match the grading of our current property, we have to raise the basement. Instead of being a crawl space, it now becomes a basement, because the basement part will be 7 feet. It won't have any windows. It's not going to be a usable basement. It just then now is classed as a basement. So that is where we're having to get the variance for it. Everything else is all within the numbers, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any members of the public registered to make an oral submission? You're on mute, Jack.
There are no members of the public registered to speak to this application. Thank you.
Are there any members of the public? Are there any additional members of the public in attendance this evening to make an oral submission? Thank you. Do any members of the committee wish to comment or have any questions concerning the application? May I have a motion for one of the committee members for application A02/26? Henry?
Make a motion that we accept the application as presented along with the staff report.
May I have a seconder? Mike? That the Committee of Adjustments, having given consideration to the applicable, oh my God, I can't talk tonight. Provision of Section 45 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the Township of Springwater, the characteristics of land in question and its surrounding, as addressed in the planning report and application dated January 28, 2026. The correspondence received and information presented at the hearing held on January 28, 2026, and the decision of the matter hereby approve application A02/26. All in favor? Carried. Thanks very much. Application number 3, will the Secretary Treasurer please introduce the next application, item number 4.3 on the agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 4.3 on the agenda is consent application B01/26 submitted by M and N Ritchie regarding lands known municipally as 145 Queen Street East. The purpose of the consent application is for approval of a surplus farm dwelling severance to sever a parcel of land consisting of approximately 1.9 hectares and 100 meters of lot frontage along Queen Street East, which contains one existing single detached dwelling. The property owner proposes to retain approximately 49.8 hectares of farmland with the existing agricultural buildings and structures.
Have any additional correspondence and or comments been received?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, comments have been received from the Drainage Superintendent, Bell Canada, the Chief Building Official, the Township's Engineering Department, Enbridge Gas, Source Water Protection, the Severn Sound Environmental Association, and the County of Simcoe.
Can I please have the applicant introduce themselves and provide comment, if any?
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
How's everybody?
We're good.
So what do you want me to say? We kind of did this before, but we let it lapse because we were working with the planning department trying to save the old house, and we came up with a few proposals. They went forward to the county. The county rejected them. So at the end of the day, it all boils down to one thing. The old house has to come down. So we're just going to move forward with our severance, like reapply for our severance. And then that locks it up for a year and a half or 2 years, whatever that time span is. And the tenants that are in there now have till a year to get out. They're looking to buy a house right away anyhow. So once that happens, then we can move forward with taking the house down. Now, I reached out to the county on Monday or Tuesday because the culvert, the second driveway, seems to be a huge issue for the county. I reached out to the county and I said, look, as soon as the snow's gone and spring has arrived, like by May 1st, I will have the culvert out. The second driveway will no longer exist. Can we still move forward? And they have their heels dug in that culvert's got to come out. So here I am. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what we did. It all boils down to one thing: is the old house has to come out. As much as we tried to save the house, and it took us a lot of money and time to do this, it didn't work out. So we just want to move forward and then wrap up our estate so that the house is not a part of the farming operation. You know what I mean? So that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public registered to make an oral submission?
Thank you, Chair. There are no members of the public who are registered to make an oral submission.
Thank you. And any additional members of the public in attendance this evening to make an oral submission? None. Thank you. Do any members of the committee wish to comment or have any questions concerning this application? May I have a motion from one of the committee members for application B01/25? Brad?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the application be approved as presented with the conditions included in the staff report.
May I have a seconder? Mike? That the Committee of Adjustments, having given consideration to the applicable provisions of Section 53 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the township, the characteristics of land in question and surrounding as addressed in the planning report on application dated January 28, 2026, the correspondence received and information presented at the hearings held on January 28, 2026, and the decision on the matter hereby approve application B01/26, subject to the following conditions. 1, that the applicant meet all the requirements, financial and otherwise, of the municipality. 2, that the applicant provide 2 copies of the registered survey of the severed lot and lot prepared by the Ontario Land Surveyor. 3, that the owner applicant be responsible for all costs to satisfy Section 65 of the Draining Act, 1990, if applicable. That the original dwelling be removed from the retained lands to satisfy the requirements of TU-2021-001 prior to the registration of the consent. 5, that the applicant rezone a portion of the severed land to the environment protection exception zone to satisfy the recommendation of the scope natural heritage evaluation dated on July 31st, 2023, to the satisfaction of the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority and the township. 6, that the applicant rezone the retained land to the agriculture consolidation and environmental protection zone to prohibit residential use and ensure that the keeping of the livestock in the existing agriculture building be subject to MDS. 7, that the applicant remove one of the entrances located on the retained land and reinstate the boulevard to satisfaction of the county of Simcoe. 8, that it be confirmed that the private well and septic system are wholly contained within the property limits of the severed residential lands of the satisfaction of the chief building inspector or official. And 9, that the applicant provide an undertaking and draft transfer demonstration that the retained farmlands will be transferred to a bona fide farmer. All in favor? Carried. That's it, Mike.
I have one question.
Sure.
So when I had the conversation with the county the other day, so I said to the guy, when I take the culvert out, who do I call to come and inspect this so that it's to your satisfaction? And the reply I got is, I don't know. So does anybody know when I just phoned the building department,
Oliver?
like Springwater Building Department or roads, or is it
Yeah,
county, right?
through the chair, I'd just like to respond to this for Ariane and for the applicant. It would be definitely someone at the county, but we can just communicate to that to you after the meeting. We'll just get in touch with the county for you and we'll figure it
Okay.
out.
So I come to you guys, let you know.
Well, we'll broker it. You should just be going straight to them, but we'll help you out.
Okay, because when I asked the question, they're like, I don't know. Like,
Good answer.
thank you, everybody.
Apparently, we're telling the truth.
May I have a move and a second to adjourn this meeting? Mike and Brad, that the Committee of Adjustments meeting held on January 28, 2026 now does adjourn at 6:17 PM. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, everyone.